Good evening, everybody. A lot of people have been asking me questions that sort of relate to inheritance recently. So here's a really quick tutorial on how to inherit a class and then how to inherit classes out of modules. And if we got enough time, I will inherit a class from the neat Python library and extend it. Okay, so first, simply, we'll start with a class called multipliers. This is for any class, doesn't matter what it is. And I'm going to make this class do some simple math. I'm going to make it multiply a factor by 2, which obviously is not something you'd need to do, but you know, this is just a demonstration. So here's our function that's going to times by 2. Okay, it's going to take in the self variable. We earlier declared our factor right there, okay? And it's going to return an integer of self factor times 2. So it's going to return it. That's our class, okay? Well, who cares? it multiplies by 2. It's a great class. So to use this, for example, say we were going to make a variable called multipliers. How do you spell, guys? Is that how you spell? Multipliers, and then we'd have to pass it a factor, so we're going to pick 7, okay? And then we can do cool stuff like products, and we can use the method that we just wrote, okay? So this is going to print 14. Yay! Additionally, you could inherit that class, multipliers, and do something else with it. So, I don't know, let's make a class called dividers. We're going to inherit multipliers, okay? So there you go. We're going to initialize it. You don't have to, but we're gonna. We're gonna get it the self variable factor and factor 2. So this class now has 2 factors. We're going to, I guess we'll have to set them. Okay. And we're going to write a function to divide. Divide the 2 factors, okay? So we'll call it divide factors, take in the self. We should check that factor 2, which we're going to put on the denominator, is not equal to 0. Whoops. I'm good at programming, guys. And if it isn't, we will return self.factor divided by self.factor 2. And if it is, we'll scream, you can't divide by 0. Okay. So that's our second class that inherits dividers. So now, to demonstrate inheritance, since we made dividers inherit multipliers, technically the times 2 function is built into our dividers function. So let's do this. Let's set a dividers. So our 2 factors we're going to send it is that, and then we're going to print. Well, first we'll use our divide factors. Divide factors function, and then we will print times 2. Okay, so this should take this one right here will take our 2 factors and divide them if one of them isn't 0, and this one here is the inherited function from multipliers. So times 2 is only in this one here, but we inherited it into dividers, so we'll be able to use it here, I hope. Boom, there you go. So that's how you do inheritance in a simple way. If you, for example, somebody in the chat had asked me about messing with the way neat Python deals with genomes, and I couldn't think of a way to do it for him easily. There probably is an easy way to do it, but I don't know how to do it. So I suggested to him that he inherit the run function from the population class in neat Python. And then he came back and he's like, how do you do that? And good question. It's not straightforward. So let's let's do a second one right now where we inherit neat Python. We should check first that. Can I do this again? Oh, I wonder if you can do that. Neat. Let's see if this works. Okay, so we've got neat 0.92 installed. Okay, guys, that's the one I'm going to use. So what you got to do this is import neat, and then let's just start with that. We're going to import neat. We can, if we're careful. So this is the neat Python Git repo that currently exists. It's by Code Reclaimers. I'm not sure what the status is. Yeah, he's no longer maintaining it, but it's the one I've been using. So if you go in here, you can see in the neat library, there's a package called population, and this module. So the neat module contains the population class, which has population in it, and population has a method called run. Okay, so this is what we're gonna it's called overriding. We're going to inherit the population class from neat population, and we're going to override the run function. And when you override a function, you can change how it works. We're actually going to redefine it effectively. We're going to take this one and put it in and just put a little print statement in it to prove that we were able to modify it. So let's do that. We've imported neat. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go class. So we'll do this in parts, right? So we're going to make a new population function, which we're going to call pop. And it's going to inherit neat population. Okay, so that's the function that we just started using. We're going to we just do pass right now. So this class pop contains population. That it contains this module or class. I don't really know what they're called. But that's obviously not what we want. We want it to do something else. So to do something else, basically we can now override the run function if we want. This pop2, or pop, we'll call it, has everything inside population built into it. So if we just pass, we can go, we should actually implement the rest of, we can implement the rest of the neat class to do Sonic. So we'll do this right here. We'll import neat. Oh, we already got that. We're going to import retro, CV2, and numpy. And then we're going to go grab the stuff from my old Sonic tutorial, which is it's all on my GitLab if you guys want to go see it. So this is the evaluate genomes function for neat. Again, if you don't know what this is, you should go watch the Sonic neat AI. But basically, this is the function that runs when neat population runs. We're going to run that, and then we're going to do a config setup. Okay, so the stuff that's necessary for neat is the config variable. And then normally right here we would do p equals population config. But actually, since we just overrode, we inherited population into our pop function, we're gonna put it right there, and just to prove that everything's good to go. Okay. So we need to import this, and then let's see if this works. Is it gonna work? It did. Okay, so we were able to import. Basically, that's proof that this here takes all of the methods and everything from neat population. Okay. So normally, when you're running these things, the next step is to once you have set up the config file, and just for the record, I have previously included a config file. Oh, how do I get back to the root folder? Like this? Look at all this fancy stuff. Where is my inheritance folder? Inheritance? Yeah, so I have the Sonic the Hedgehog config file right here. Okay? So it's the standard one. The inputs are 1120. The outputs are 12 for the buttons on the thing. You've seen this a bunch of times if you followed the other tutorials. If not, it's just necessary for running neat. Okay? So don't worry too much about it. But yeah, once you've set up this far normally in the process, you need to run this function here, which is p, which is our pop with config, and then run. This is the function we're going to extend later, okay? So let's just verify that this works. It did. So, oh yeah, I need an environment. Where are we gonna put the environment? Let's put it right after this. So I have previously installed Gym Retro. We're not going to show you how to do that in this tutorial, but all of the other, well, the Sonic Neat AI tutorial, my F-Zero tutorial, they all show you how to install Gym Retro. So go watch those if you need help. If not, maybe I'll make a write-up and put it up on a web page or something. Okay, so here we go. Let's wait for this one to go, and then we'll run this one. And there you go. So as you can see, Sonic is being trained right now using the neat algorithm. So it's a genetic algorithm. If you've never seen this before, guys, it's a genetic algorithm that learns to develop a neural network to do whatever you want. I give it an input of a flattened array of the image you're looking at right now, every frame, and it learns to output the button presses that will play Sonic. As you can see here, he's slowly moving forward. Really exciting. Okay, so unfortunately you can't stop it. So this is the only way that I know how to stop this is by running xkill, which is definitely not a good way to do this. Boop. Which explodes the kernel, but it's fine. We will restart. Okay, so what I've shown you now is that pop has replaced population. Okay, that's all we've done. So now we're going to extend this class so that we can use, we can change the run method so it can do different things. All we're going to do is we're going to print something, but I mean, you could do literally whatever you wanted. You could put anything you want in there. So let's go find the run function. So this is our population. That's a init. We don't need any of that. Add reporters, don't need it. Here we go. This is the run function. Okay, so we're going to grab this whole beast right here. And we're just going to pop it, oops, right into our class. Make sure you indent it. So what we're doing now is we're overriding the run function with, at this point, an identical run function. But again, all we're trying to do is show you how to use inheritance and extending inherited modules and classes. So all we're going to do is we're going to print, hey, did this work? Yay. I'm just going to print that. So now when we start training, this line should be printed. And if it worked, I don't know, I'm going to go get myself a glass of wine. Okay, so let's do it. Let's start from the beginning. Import that, run that. Let's go all the way to the end. And once it's ready, we should see it say down here, hey, did this work? Yay. It's exciting. Oh, hey, that part worked, but then everything else failed. Oh yeah, so it turns out that neat Python imports some libraries. We need this stuff here too. So just grab it. Okay, this is needed for extending our run function. So where are we? Let's put that in. Right here. Okay, so we'll just run that again. Run that again. Those are already in memory. We should be able to just run this. Hey, did this work? Yay. And then Sonic is training. Okay, guys, that's it. That's how you extend an inherited class or module. And, you know, as an added bonus, how you would extend... Now you could go into the neat run function here and change anything you want. Any of the stuff, add anything you want. The guy who was looking to extend it to run 2 genomes simultaneously, this is where you'd have to start. That's a big ask, but this is how you'd start. Okay, guys. See ya.